at racing. It's Show Us Your Tips. Daggy and Beaver with you to look towards the third day of the Randwick Carnival. There is another one next week, but it's not quite as good as this one. There's 2 Group 1s on the card. Not officially a championships, but a pretty good day's racing all round. We've got a support card coming from Caulfield. Beaver, what's going on?
Mate, normal stuff. Just moseying around on some holidays and looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, good day of racing from Randwick. We had an okay day. We managed to pinpoint a few of the winners on Wednesday, which was nice. A little bit of a bank heading here. So hopefully that trend continues. The rail goes out 8 metres to the winning posts. Then 5 metres the remainder from the 1600 on. It is a nice drying day in Sydney, nice drying day tomorrow. I'm thinking soft track. We get back there. And last time we had a similar setup. It was running line. You probably wanted to be running on by the end of the day. So probably a similar approach here, Beaver, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing here, mate. Probably sort of that middle to outside part of the track at this stage of the carnival. And yeah, I think that's where you want to be, particularly later in the day.
Beautiful. We kick off with a highway, though. Where are you going to play here?
No, mates. Couldn't really find anything here. It's a pretty open affair. 20 chances.
Yeah. I nothing here I want to stamp. Race 2 is a 1400 metre. Don't know if it necessarily gets much easier in the midway here at benchmark 72 level. Any thoughts on this one?
Look, just taking a stab in the dark here, I thought a horse like Different Strokes, lightly raced, could run well. Was steady first up, finished off nice enough, got well back in the field and ran home. Might be suited by a little bit better track here. Drawn the outside, if they are running on, could finish off nicely.
Yeah, tricky race as the market suggests. Couple I found, and I was surprised at the price. No, so sneakies, 40s, and had some decent enough form here, finishing alongside Trevest and Jungle Book last time out, which fits in a couple back here, which fits in well here. Then was okay across the line before going out. Trials have been decent, and yeah, like I said, it's 40s. Happy to have an each way play there. Mahagoni
probably takes up the pace here.
Close to it, I think, is pretty much. If it's not leading, leaders back, I would say. From gate 16, I'm hoping it does go. Kathy does go forward and doesn't flap about 3 or 4 wide. But for a big field, I don't think there's a bunch of leaders. I thought the official maps have Arsim and French Bonnet leading, and it 3 wide running line, which suited me. And Mahagoni, the import, was okay first up, drawn out again in a big field, and maybe will be an improver here. It's around $6, probably on a little bit better. But the other 2 I found, Different Strokes. If I'd seen a little bit more first up, I would have been keen as well. But no real knock there. Race 3 is the Frank Packer Plate, the 2,000 metres, over the 2,000 metres for the 3-year-olds, where Straight Arron demolished him last start, meets a similar field, and I think we'll do the same thing. Gate 14 gets into nice clear air and only has to run down the outside. There's not a little here. I thought the main danger, actually, at the 20s it was last night, is the stablemate Paternal. It's $26 and coming off cardiac arrhythmia, which is always a bet next time. So can perhaps run a place for you at a nice $5 or $6 quote. What have you done here, Beaver?
Yeah, I don't see it much different, mate, than you. Sets up perfectly here for Straight Arron. Looks to be on the way up, stepping up now to the 2,000, and this looks right up its alley in a pretty weak affair. Could have some ability as well.
Beautiful. The first of the Group 1s is the Mile Champagne Stake for the 2-year-olds, where Fireburn is on a tear. She's been dominant. Does she just keep winning?
Pretty hard to see anything else happening here other than that. Only 6 starters, and a couple don't look to have too much of a chance. So, yeah, look, probably just sets up perfect here for it. It's a good horse.
Agree. I hope she goes on and becomes a bit of a star, because we probably need him. So, yeah, I think it's the third filly in 66 years to do the Triple Crown if he does manage it. So good luck to all connections there. Race 5 is the 1400 metre JB Carr Stakes. Group 3 for the fillies as well. And, well, the return of Espiona, you happy to dive back in?
Look, I am happy to dive back in. I think this is a pretty weak field compared to what it's been racing in, Group 2, Group 1, Group 1. To get back to this this is a Group 3, but it's a pretty weak Group 3 if you ask me. Track is improving. I think that suits getting to the softer good. It's not a big field, so it doesn't have to come past too many. Probably a couple of scratchings here. Drawn well enough on the inside's a little bit of a worry, but yeah, I think it'll be too good for these. Maybe the main danger might be a horse like Capistel.
Yep. It's, not much more to add. Back in grade, this is a weaker field. It'll be a good enough track for it to run well. She should get the job done here. Capistel will run a place. She's been honest all the way through and will likely take up the pace. And I really want to find Festival Dancer as a chance. The trials haven't been fantastic, but was very honest last prep. And as the rating suggests, he's better than most of these. I think they can go close to running 1, 2, 3 here. Race 6 is the 1200 metre Hallmark Stakes, where Big Parade comes up short in the market, but this race sets up perfectly for it. He'll roll forward at his own pace, which suits him, and will be very hard to get past, I'd say. Just nabbed late by the great Shelby 66. Not many chases here. Gem Song, very impressive last time, and I found that form later in the day as well. So I think one of the dangers, in Quantico's the other one, back to a dry track, and did start the same price in the new market. So has to be given a chance here at $9 in the Hallmark. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. Like, again, this looks to set up perfect for Big Parade here. Should control the pace. Was good first up. Flies on the slow track. It's had 6 starts for 5 wins and a placing. Everything points towards it. Track and distance is good. Goes well second up. Look, it's hard to see anything here beating it because the rest are just not going that well. Other than Gem Song was good first up, as you pointed out. Big Parade, if Big Parade's on its best behaviour, it wins this.
Yep. Race 7 kicks off the quaddie with the JRA plate over the 2,000 metres, where our man Elliot, I'm sure, will be pushing Ice Bath again as he has done all prep. Is that the way you're leaning, Beaver?
Look, I just can't go for Ice Bath. It probably, it may well win, but again, same reason as last start. I just can't catch Ice Bath. It looks to be the best horse in this race, but steps up to the 2,000 now, so it's never been over 2,000, which is a question mark. And just seems to find one better more times than not. So I'm willing to take on Ice Bath at the $3. But the problem was finding something to beat it, because most of these outside of that aren't going that well either. Polly Gray's obviously got some ability, and the 2,000 metres is right up its alley. Only just beaten by Mount Popper last start, so it's got to be a major player. And I thought Moroney, the New Zealander, it's obviously got a little bit of form. I'm a bit concerned 2 starts back was awful at Ellerslie, but then came here and ran okay in that Mount Popper race. It could run well. So I really found it hard outside of those. So I've gone for Polly Gray, just on its consistency, sting out of the ground, and really runs a bad race.
I've gone Polly Gray as well on top. Bowman goes on for Berry. Just got held up a little bit in that race chasing Mount Popper. I think you won that race 10 times. It wins 7 of them. And I think very hard to beat here, proven at the distance. Ice Bath is the obvious danger. Do you want to back it? Probably not. I'll throw it in a quaddie, but that'll be it. Incredible record. She's won $4.5 million and never won a stakes race. So not bad for connections. And that's really what I want to talk about. No one else here really interests me. So we'll move on to race 8, a cracker, the all-age stakes, 1,400 metres, Group 1, one in the past, or last year by Colding, before that Tafane, Pierrata, All Too Hard, Atlantic Jewel, Hot Danish, Haylist. So some big winners here, some great runs over the years actually in this race, but good field. Not sure there's a ton of chances, Beaver. What are you thinking?
I thought the same as you. I didn't think there was a ton of chances here. I've settled on Mwanga. Second up here, I think this sets up nicely for it. Was pretty good last start. It's kind of had a few issues getting to the track for its next start, but everything here points towards it running well. Goes well second up. Distance is perfect for it. And probably, again, the track conditions improving probably suits. It's drawn well in the 9, so it gets a good spot here, just off the pace in the running line. Super hard to beat. Outside of that, I thought Sierra Sue could run well. It was very good 2 starts back, and then last start wasn't the worst against Zaki. Got well out of its ground, right back in the field, and ran home nicely in that race over the 1,600. Comes here and looks like a major player at some decent odds. They were the 2 that I come down to. Forbidden Love is obviously a chance. I'm just a bit worried last start took a bit out of it.
It was actually an incredible run. Sat outside lead on the pace there. I actually went back. Amazing run. Yeah,
it was amazing run, and it was stepping up to the 1,500 there first time, and had to sit on the outside. I didn't understand why it didn't take a sit. If it takes a sit there, if car takes a sit there and gets in 1 out, 1 back, it wins the race, no doubt about it. It only was less than a length off them, or just over a length off them, and was just a sit and shot in that race. So, but here it's probably been up for, it has been up for a while here. That would have taken a lot out of it, sitting out the side of the lead there. It's drawn 16 and it goes from 50 kilos to 57. I thought there was just a few things against Forbidden Love. It may prove me wrong, but because it was flying before that, but I'm willing to take it on because I think it may have come to the end of its preparation, and someone like Manga is a bit fresher here. So yeah, and then in the Congo, obviously a chance, but again, might be just a sitting shot here.
Yeah, I didn't know. I left in the Congo out because I just wasn't sure that race was last week. I know Marzu's going pretty well, and does get a backup. But I end up with Mwanga on top. It was a good resumption there behind Sierra Sue, and has been kept fresh ever since. Avoided a lot of those races, which to me have tarnished some of the runners here. So comes in here fresh, gate suits, and as you said, drying track definitely suits. On top for me. Forbidden Love, I have to respect that last run. If it's still with us, will run well here. May even lead this field or go forward with Ellsberg and shout the bar, but he's in this race. And I was giving Sierra Sue next best chance, and I didn't think there was much else after that.
I just can't see Forbidden Love leading from 16, and that's what worried me.
I think Overpass will go forward, and probably Ellsberg. So.
And even in the Congo is going to go forward as well.
So the gay horses will control this, which might suit it, which Bowman's very good at that stalking ride, and I can't imagine him be happy to be sit there on a limb, but we'll see. Hungry Heart, I'm guessing given the fact it's been kept for this, not tipping it here, but I think it'll win a race in Queensland. It might be the right horse, a bit like Streamer did a few years ago, get up and win some of those lesser group races up there on its last hurrah. But Mwanga on top here. Race 9 is a benchmark 100, where very tricky race here. I went looking for the swoopers here, and end up coming with Huwaita on top, unbeaten in Australia. Trials have been fantastic again. First up, second Brep here, and you're getting double figures. Oh, not anymore. You're getting about $7 now, but will run well. And I think Exobeam's a chance. Right gate here, and last time this track was in the same setup, it won last October with the rail out this distance. Gets the same run. A couple I went looking for but couldn't necessarily find. Cryodearus with Nash going on, but trial was average and drawn inside a negative. And Art Cadeau I could have got excited about, but gate 1 this time will probably need a good run. So in short, Hueta on top, but some small chances around. There's probably more to this race than that. What have you found, Beaver?
Yeah, interesting race. Plenty of chances here. I was willing to let our Playboy run.
Yep.
And take it on. It's never won over this distance in 6 starts. So that was sort of, for me, I was against it on that basis, and goes up now to carrying 59 kilos in a good race. So that's a good horse's weight. So I was willing to take it on. I thought Taxu gets in at the lightweight of 50. Was a massive chance. It's going to go forward. Certainly doesn't mind the sting out of the ground. This distance suits, so it can run really well. And its last start was a nice run, and the last couple of starts have been very good. So I think on pace it can give a really good sight if it can control the pace a little bit there. And I was pretty keen to have a bet on the Kiwi horse. I think its form's pretty good for a race like this. Ran third in a Group 1 last start, really hit the line well. So it's going to run on down the middle of the track. And then prior to that, in a Group 2, finished off nicely before coming through some benchmarks. So I thought it could run really well, fresh here, drawn well enough. So I kind of landed on Taxu with Marley's Stone.
Yeah, fair comment. That was did some okay stuff last prep, that Marley Stone. Just don't know whether the chosen one form necessarily fits here, but it'll run well. Race 10, benchmark 88 over the 1,200 metres to finish the day. How are you taking us home, Beaver?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the first up, April Rain. It's a horse that I've backed on many occasions, but I think here, first up, it sets up really well. It's never missed first up. It does perform best when fresh. So I think this gets its best chance here in a race. Wasn't pushed that hard in the trial. Was less than 2 lengths off Heresy, who subsequently won, and then prior to that had some good form in some decent races. So I'm going to go for April Rain first up.
I actually found her as well. Trials have been good. You covered off the reasons there. This is a drop in grade from where she's been, and a little bit of cut out of the ground probably doesn't hurt as well. So happy to have her on top. Catalan resumed pretty well down south, comes back here and will run well again. And Mautai, I think's a chance still, but it'd be a big effort for Mitt and Nash to lead all the way in the last and Randwick from that gate. So finishing day with April Rain on top. For progretracing.com.au, have you got your best and value for Randwick? And then I'll probably
do a 22. Mate. My best is I don't think you can go far wrong if you go race 3, number 4, straight Arron, race 4, number 5, Fireburn, and race 5, number 2, Espiona. I think if you multi those, you're going to end up with about $4.50, and I think all 3 of those will be winning. And my value bet comes up in the last race, race 10, number 9, April Rain.
Yeah, got a bit burnt by the all up the other day, but going to just stick with Fireburn, all up Espiona. I think they'll both win. And if you're feeling very brave, throw straight Arron in 2. And my value will be Hueta resuming in race 9. And I'll do a quaddie for Randwick. We'll kick off with race 7, 1 Ice Bath, 2 Polly Grey, 7 Maroney. I've had 3 looks at Cryptogram, so if you want a real roughie, throw that in, but for now, we'll leave it out. Race 8, 1 Moanga, 8 Forbidden Love, 10 Sierra Sioux, and 14 in the Congo. Race 9, 4 Mally Stun, 7 Exo Boom, 8 Kerwin's Lane, 11 Art Cadeau, 16 Hueta, 20 Taxu, and we'll come home with 4 Catalan, 6 Mautai, 9 April Rain, and 11 Samut. And let's head to Caulfield. Don't forget to check out progroupracing.com.au for their news, views, and much more. And we head to Caulfield for good track racing with the rail in the 3 metre mark. Kicking off with the 2-year-olds in the Burnt Bright Handicap Race 1. Beaver, how are we starting today down south?
Yeah, I didn't find anything in the first mate. Was willing to let that one go.
Favourite on top here, not adding much. +4s, should have won first up. The Snowden horse has been scratched, but there's always unknown to these lightly raced ones. Race 2 is a benchmark 78 over the 1100 metres. What are we doing in this one?
Yeah, I'm going with the favourite here, Clemenceau. It's won 3 or 4 starts. Wasn't tested really in its trial. Was just given a nice time of it in Warwick Farm. Goes down to Caulfield now. But this is a horse that jumps on pace and was pretty impressive in its preparation, last preparation. So I think it probably gets us away here nicely.
I agree. I think the scratchings have helped, actually. Trial is okay too, but coming here, I think it is clearly on top from, now the main danger is probably the blue colours destination, but I thought the other chances have all come out, so happy to be with Clemenceau on top here. Race 3, 2400 metre benchmark 78, where we saw Point Nepean put them to the sword at Bendigo, jumped straight to the front, did what it had to do, and this is probably a weaker setup. So on top for me, I think the price is fantastic at the moment, and that's about all I've got to say about this one.
100%. I think the price is outstanding at the moment. $2.50. Had its first start in the Geelong Cup last year. Was solid enough. Was near enough to favourite, and come out this. Only just got pipped first up over 2400 Sandout, and then I was pretty keen last start, and it got the $4 odd, and it killed him. And it'll be winning this.
Race 4 is over the 2400 again. Maybe a little bit trickier. Beaver, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, look, I stuck with the favourite from the coming stable again here. Mamina, is that how you say it?
Mammonia?
Something like that.
Close enough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super hard to beat here. I like what it's done so far this preparation. First up was a nice win nice second at Newcastle before stepping up in the Group 3 over 2000 and ran very nicely behind Honey Creeper, finished off very well in that. So it gets the extra 400 here. Third up, Jamie Carr aboard. I think this sets up very nicely for this horse again at the $4. I think that's good value.
Ditto. For all the reasons you've mentioned, Carr going on helps as well. Clearly on top, I've got the Dangerous Tavabeel, who resumed with a 2400 metre win and is double figures and has at least had the run over the 24 here. And obviously the Cunning Fox did that pretty well at Bendigo, and the stable have a fair opinion of it, as the marker suggests, is in the game as well. But blue colours on top. The 1100 metre benchmark, 1100 metre Furphy handicap for the fillies is race number 5, where, look, I had very little idea here. Went looking for Star of Chaos. It was an okay trial, so I couldn't get overly excited. Najmati's done not much for a long time, but trial's been good. So maybe for me, a small bet, Flying Evelyn and Morning Melody, who's at least broken through, but I don't like the race at all. Beaver, any better clarity for you?
No, it wasn't. It's not the most inspiring race, but I settled on Dazzling Lucy. I thought it was pretty good last start over the 1,000. Sat off the pace and hit the line nicely. Carried 61.5 there and gets into this with 54. So going up in grade, but gets a 7.5 kilo drop in weight there. So I think it could be a lightly raised horse on the way up. So Dazzling Lucy for me, around the $6 mark.
Beautiful. Race 6, over 1100 metre benchmark 84 for the girls. A couple of scratchings might make this one a bit easier too. You with the favourite here?
Lost sound, mate.
Oh, can you hear me? Let me just pause.
Recording in progress.
Race 6, a couple of the scratchings, as I said, make this perhaps a little bit easier for the favourite, do you think, Beaver?
Yeah, I think so. Geez, it was good first up.
Yeah.
Looked to be struggling, and then bang. Just last 100 metres, it really wound into its work and looked like a horse with plenty of potential. Um, the step back 100 was a bit of a worry for me. Only I think that's the only concern because it looked like it was just building up revs late there.
I
But
think
maybe
drawn
it
out.
just needed
I
that
think
run
drawn
under
out
its
helps
belt.
here as well. You can hopefully get the
Yeah,
clear air a bit earlier.
I think that's right. So I think it's going to be super hard to beat. And yeah, certainly the pick on top for me.
Yeah, agree. I was all um, stumped up to make a case for Bless Her, but she's come out. So is she at sale today? Actually, I haven't looked at that. But yeah, jump the broom easy on top, and I think a more than acceptable price. Race 7 is the Easter Cup, Group 3 over the 2,000 metres, where similar here, I found Pondus quite easily. Beat the rest behind Crystal Pegasus at Mornington fairly comfortably, and there's not a lot of fresh blood here. The fresh blood, I think, is the main danger, which is Zaydani coming here off just a no-luck run first up, and his double figures, I think, will run well. Luke may need a good ride from Luke Nolan out there, but is a talented mare. And that was about it. The rest of these are all tied to each other, and I think Pontus can keep kicking.
Yeah, I was the same. I went looking for something else, but then I just kept coming back to Pondus here. It was pretty good last start behind a horse that's going well.
Yeah.
And was just left the sitting shot over the 2,400. Comes back to the 2,000 here, which I don't think hurts. Prior to that, took care of some of the horses in this field quite comfortably, and meets them all fairly similar at the weights. So Pondus here, I think it's probably pretty good value.
Beautiful. Race 8 is the Victoria Handicap Group 3 over the 1,400 metres. The resumption of Ayrton in a good race. Are you keen?
Certainly hard to go past.
It's funny, for a
And this
horse
is a
that's
really
won
good
5 out of
race.
7, it's almost like you can't trust it. I don't, if that makes sense. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, you're just trying to get a gauge on how good it is.
Yeah, and the stables said that it's not ready and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So it's hard to want to barrel in.
Well, it is hard to want to barrel in. I mean, it went to Eagle Farm and lost as $1.50 pop to Apache Chase, which we know is a fairly decent horse. Prior to that, it had beat some, it had beat some decent horses in Curran and the likes, but then come out in the Group 3 and took care of Ellsberg pretty comfortably. Ellsberg's a good horse, as we know. Then went at Caulfield, fresh up, won well. But then probably the next start when it was odds on, a little bit disappointing. So here, it's really hard to get a gauge. I think it's hard to beat. I do think Bermudez is the main danger at the $9.50. It chased a really good horse last start and probably wasn't suited. It probably sat up closer on the pace than what's normal. But yeah, I think that was a really, really good run. Drops back 200 here. I don't think that hurts, and gate 6 is probably pretty good. So at the price, at 950, I'm happy to go Bermudez.
Yeah, cool. One of the chances for sure. I've put Kiss and All for Cheeks on top. Just didn't get around Randwick in the wet at all. Before that, it was an amazing win at Flemington. Sets up well here. Blake McDougall is flying. And on top for me, Ayrton, obviously, if it's right and ready to go, probably is the best horse, I think, still. But we'll wait and see on that. You've mentioned Bermudez, and I think Foxy Frida will go into my quaddie as well. So they're the main chances I had here. Race 9 over the mile wraps us up, where I'll finish with, in a tricky race, I think there's a ton of chances. Happy to sort of spec Jungle Magnate, who resumed with a nice win. Outside gate in a big field. Can produce that run again, I hope. And Gundeck is flying, and similar sort of setup here. But a very tricky way to finish the day. Rebel's Choice is a chance in 30s, so tricky business. What have you found?
Yeah, I thought Gun Deck was going to be hard to beat as well. Probably comes across here and sets up on pace, and just keeps fighting at the moment. It was a good win last start, so I think it sets up here nicely and can run a good race at some decent odds.
Beautiful. For progretracing.com.au, my best bet at Caulfield is going to be Point Nepean. I'm going to make my best value with the scratchings now. We'll make it... let me find one here. We'll make it Foxy Freed. I think she can run a place in that handicap behind a couple of good horses there. And your best value and quaddy for Caulfield.
Yeah, my best is also Point Nepean, race 3, number 1. So that's one for the punters. We've agreed there. And my value bet's going to be in the last race, 9, number 2, Gun Deck. I think it can be super hard to beat at the $7 mark. My quaddy for Caulfield is number 2, Shazay, number 4, Forever Free, number 5, Jump the Broom, and number 15, Siri Serena. In race 7, I'm going number 2, Pondus, number 4, Zaydani, number 7, Defibrillate, number 12, Grand Slam. In race 8, I'm going numbers 3, Kiss on All Four Cheeks, number 9, Ayrton, number 11, Foxy Frida, and number 16, Bermudez. And in the last, which is quite an open race, I'm going number 1, Dacre, number 2, Gun Deck, number 3, Jungle Magnate, number 6, Glint of Hope, and number 13, British Columbia.
Beautiful. Good job. Oakbait Carnival's going on over in Adelaide. Just a couple of shorties that should win there. Race 7 at number 3, Sandblast. And race 8, number 3, Rock the Ring. Both hard to beat. And have you got something for us at Eagle Farm?
I do, mate. A few up there. Race 3, number 1, Street Dancer. Will be hard to beat. Number 5, race 5, number 11, Festival Prince. And then I've got race 8, number 6, Written Beauty. And race 9, number 4, On the Lead.
Ooh, Written Beauty up there. Very good. Good job, Beaver. Now we're heading towards, all our production meetings seem to happen on air, but we're heading towards the Queensland Carnival. So next few weeks we might start featuring the Queensland card as we get into the features there. But I suppose we can discuss that further. Keep an eye out for that. Check out progretracing.com.au. Enjoy the rest of your holiday up there, Beaver.
Will do, mate.
And we wish everyone, on behalf of us and progretracing.com.au, a safe and happy Easter, and we'll talk to everyone very soon. Good luck, guys.